Hey guys, John McNamara, host of Runnin Vegas. We're talking local sports, business, real estate. If you guys see what you like, subscribe, follow us on Runnin Vegas Podcast on Instagram. Today, got my co-host, Mr. Ryan Pulliam in the house.
What's happening, man?
He's back.
I'm back.
What are we gonna talk about today?
There are only some things happening. Getting close to football season, which is awesome.
Well, I felt like last time it's like the off season, and
Yeah.
we're like, what the heck are we gonna talk about? And we ended up talking the whole time. But now, I feel like we got plenty to talk about today. We're talking UNLV basketball, football, breaking news as of 2 days ago.
Yeah.
AJ Storr, former four-star guard, signs with Runnin Rebel basketball. Previously with St. John's, Wisconsin, Kansas, Ole Miss. He averaged 15.5 points a game at Ole Miss in the SEC and 16.8 in the sophomore year with Wisconsin. Pretty good pickup.
I think it's a great pickup. And I think a lot of folks sometimes may wince a little when they see the resume of where he's been. This will be his fifth school in 5 years. But I think in the land of the NIL, we're just going to have to probably get a little bit more used to kids taking a turn every single where they go. And so, yeah, I'm stoked about it. We talked on a couple earlier podcasts after the transfer portal closed, and we actually filled out a roster. There was a couple guys that we had really hoped that they could kind of get back to a form that they had been scoring a lot, or hope that some kids were going to be able to step up in a higher level of play from maybe a lower conference. This kid's been consistent wherever he's gone and scored at high level. So I think, with him joining the backcourt with Sebastian Mack, I don't know if there's a better backcourt in the Mountain West Conference.
Jeez, so that's interesting, right? Because I love the signing. I think it's upgrade. I think he's going to be one of our top three players, if not the best player. How do you think? I thought it was interesting makeup, though, for the roster. And I'm very happy they signed it because especially last year, we had so many injuries. Every year we have so many injuries. So I think it's better to have more players than not. But my thoughts were a little bit like Storr and Mack are kind of similar players. How is this lineup gonna shake out here in the near future? Because I think Storr is an upgrade. I think Sebastian Mack kind of needs the ball in his hand. He's kind of like a volume guy, but I think Storr is on paper a better player.
I definitely think that there's going to be a lot of competition for playing time. Kids are going to have to get out there, grind, play defense, make smart plays, because Pastor's not shy about yanking kids if they make a mistake, either if they miss an assignment on defense or they miss a play. He'll yank him and yell him on the sideline for a little bit. So I like that rotation to be able to, we're not going to have to pull somebody out and then have nobody, that void. Like when Gibby had been pulled out, sometimes like, where's our scoring going to come from? Right. So I like it. We're obviously going to be playing small ball. We're guard heavy. We talked about that. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's going to be a fun team to watch, I think, with these guys that can just light it up and score and play good defense.
Yeah, they loaded up on the guards. Mm-hmm. So I think that transition, we saw it last year with Pastner running the ball. He's going to have the players to do it this time around. I think there's like a clear 7 players on paper right now that are basically going to get starter minutes. But yeah, what do you think the lineup looks like?
I think he's starting both in the backcourt, and then Tyron Jones, Sarton, and then
Harris.
And Harris, and then that last wing spot. I don't know. There's a couple of kids that you probably throw in there, but it's gonna be fun. And like you said, they're gonna be deep. And if there are any injuries, which last year that was all we heard, right? Like, oh, this wasn't really the team that we had because of the injuries. Right. That can't be an excuse this year because he filled the roster with kids that can all play.
Yeah, for sure. It was a nice surprise to get it. So do you think this puts us like in the first tier for Mountain West teams, or we're still like kind of in that second tier? What are your thoughts on that?
I think this jumps us up to maybe the third best team. I know we were kind of talking earlier maybe about the fourth or fifth. I definitely think this cements us as the third best behind New Mexico and GCU in no particular order there. Just because we have a guy that can actually score the ball, and he scored at a high level before. I think that helps get us to the upper echelon. I don't know if we're there being able to win the conference quite yet with this pickup, but it'll at least possibly give us a chance in March to get something going.
I think it does give us the ability to win the conference. I don't think we'll be the best team. GCU and New Mexico, I think, are clearly 1-2. But I think that puts us in the conversation for sure. My lineup is point guard Ford, shooting guard Storr, small forward Harris, power forward Jones, and the MG Thomas in the center spot. I think Mack and Williams will be the first guys off the bench. And then I'll be interesting for the backup point guard spot, Hamlin, Williamson, and Subtle, younger guards. Hopefully one or two of those players hit for minutes. And then Kiss is a backup power forward, and then Femina is the backup center. So it's a pretty good roster. I'm excited about it.
I was more excited than I was 3 days ago. So there's
same. We'll see if they add any more, because this was a surprise, because we are a little thin in the power forward and traditional center spot.
Right.
So I'm curious if they do add more and more. You know what kind of went in my head too, because Pastner trying to sell the team or whatever. He's not really selling the team, but I'm like, did somebody give him a little money all of a sudden? Like, what happened there?
You never know, right?
So,
I mean, with that, like I said, with that guy's resume, he's been at some places. Just so you're not gonna settle for peanuts. I don't know if he was just kind of getting closer to the seasons. Like, I better pull up the trigger on someplace. But he played at Gorman for a season. He's familiar with Las Vegas. I think this is just a really good late signing that can kind of get some fans interested and excited to come to the MAC.
Yeah. And you're right. I mean, Mack and Storr might actually end up playing in the beginning of the year, because Harris, I think he tore his MCL. They're saying him and Jones are ready in October, but I feel like we hear that every year with players. They're always ready in October. But it kind of gives them flexibility where they don't necessarily need to just throw these guys in. I think that what happened to the point guard last year, right, where they were trying to get him back and he re-injured.
Right.
So it might be a little bit of that too. Like, hey, we don't want a chance running these guys, back early just to get them to play. But I'm interested because Storr and Harris, they played well in the Big Ten and SEC. I think those are going to be our big scoring options, along with Jones. Obviously, he's already proved himself. So I think we definitely have a big three, like we've talked about. Maybe four legit, really good scorers. So I'm excited. Schedule came out. What do you think of the schedule?
I think that it's awesome. I mean, Pastner has said it himself. It's a very challenging schedule with a lot of quality teams, and that's what we want, especially as a fan. Even just the start. I mean, we're starting out with 3 juggernauts. They're exhibition games, but what a great opportunity to get fan buy-in early when if you can get the fans behind it, because we need the Thomas & Mack to be electric. We need a home court advantage that hasn't been at the Thomas & Mack the last number of seasons. I can't really remember when it was really rocking in there, but you have those to start. Then it's Stanford, then Kansas and Players era, and then you either get to play West Virginia, Auburn, and then Houston, Rutgers, Florida, or Notre Dame. Rounded out down to Viejas with San Diego State, Washington State, and then SMU on a neutral court. So I don't think that's necessarily padding or trying to pad a resume. I think that's trying to build a program. Josh Pastner saying, "Hey, we're a legit college program. We're the Runnin' Rebels of UNLV, and we're back." And so I think that's what he's trying to prove with this schedule. And again, I mean, this is a good way to get butts in the seats of the Thomas & Mack Center, as opposed to playing Northeast Michigan State or something along those lines. The schedule has kind of been riddled with over the past few years. So I'm excited to see some big names, at the very least names on paper, on the schedule.
Yeah, I thought underrated game too was at San Francisco.
Yes, the Dons.
It's a away game in the Bay. Dons, I mean, they've been an NCAA tournament team.
Absolutely.
Every other year. They have a good program, and it's a away game. So, and then those exhibition games, guys, October 7th is Utah, October 24th, Thomas & Mack BYU, and October 29th, Missouri. So I thought those were very interesting. They're all in the Thomas & Mack. This has never happened before. Yeah. But I like it. Let's play the toughest competition. A lot of folks are saying, I don't know, that they thought the schedule would be harder. I think it's pretty difficult. I'm not sure, because I think we're at a certain level too. We can't make it impossible.
Right. Yeah.
We gotta try to have a winning record. But I like it. I'd rather have a tougher non-con, because then you go into conference play with the thought process is, hey, we've had our non-con was harder than our conference play, so we'll be ready to play the New Mexico, the GCUs, the Renos, twice a year and be competitive and tough.
Yeah, I would much rather lose to Stanford early on in the season than Montana or North Dakota State. So I think that's when we're kind of building the team. Again, those exhibition games are awesome. I know the BYU game. There's a lot of members of the LDS community in Las Vegas, so that game in and of itself is going to be packed.
That will show out well, too.
Yeah.
And BYU has a legit program. Yeah, there's some really tough. Yeah, BYU, it's exhibition, but still, that's going to be a tough game. As much as they don't count, they count.
They count the court of public opinion,
Yeah. And then, Kansas is going to be incredibly tough. So we'll see. We'll see how this season goes. But tough I thought competitive. Maybe not everybody agrees that's a tough non-con, but I think it's pretty good. I think it's pretty solid. And I'm excited for UNLV basketball.
Same.
All right.
Super stoked.
All right. Let's get to UNLV football training camp. Hot takes. What's your hot take?
Crazy that it's only a little over a week away, but I love what Jake Pope said. Jake Pope said the team is closer than it was at the same point last year, and last year they won 10 games. So I think they're building on a lot of that. I think Mullins. He's really building the program. I think he's kind of taken hold of what he wants UNLV football to be. And I think, hot take wise, this might be the most dangerous version of UNLV football all around that we've seen ever.
Ooh, I know you predicted that undefeated season, so I love it though. Okay, cool. My hot take, funny enough, it's Jake Pope. It's not the quote of Jake Pope, but I thought it was really interesting that I think they're doing this, but they haven't said it, bringing back that hybrid safety linebacker position when they used to have that Mike Shear and Odom, that 3-3-5, which is really a 4-2-5, where they have that versatile safety linebacker and that versatile edge linebacker. So Jake Pope, I guess he's added a little weight. I think that was his strength last year, was making a lot of tackles. He was out of place a lot in coverage. So I'm excited to utilize how athletic this kid is. And I think it's going to be a better fit for him in the system.
I 100% agree, because he was one of the guys that we kind of said, thought we were going to get a little bit more of him. And so maybe it was him just playing out of position a little bit. And if he can, right player, wrong place, if he can get around the ball a little bit more and stay in coverage and because obviously, like you said, he can make the tackle. So it'll be fun to see him in that little position of the hybrid. Like, where's he going to be on this play? Yeah,
it's worked well for players in the past, that kind of tackling machines, but their strength isn't necessarily coverage. But if they have to cover the tight end or something, that's a better fit. So I'm excited about that. We got, we've talked about this multiple times now, I was a little concerned about the defense being younger. We have a lot of, and I like the way Mullen is building. He's been inside out. He's building from younger talent. He is going to get high school players.
Right.
So I'm excited about these players that are coming in, but when they haven't had a lot of playing time, sometimes that takes a little time. Good news, though, is we have some veterans returning to defense that are really depth pieces, but I think it really helps the two deep. So veterans returning defense, Cohen Fuller, defensive tackle, Welch, the defensive back that played pretty well last year.
Led the team in interceptions.
Yep. So he'll be there. And then linebacker Flo, he was a good special teamer, hype man, good energy. Spellman was a solid edge linebacker defender for us. And then the linebacker from Arizona, I can never pronounce his name, Caillou. I might be pronouncing it right or wrong, but he looks like he's going to be a backup, two deep linebacker. But they said he's been balling out as well in camp. So what are your thoughts with returning these veteran defensive players?
Yeah, like Jake Pope we talked about, Mumu Bin Wahib, Trey Fulton. The secondary, I think, is really coming back. They've had a full year underneath their belt with some experience, and I think they're coming back with something to prove too. I mean, one of the biggest knocks on Gunter's offense last year was just getting torched on the long ball. So I think they want to come back and know that, hey, we've stepped up, we've learned, and they know the scheme a little bit better now. Last year, Gunter didn't even get really the play calling on the defensive side till midway through spring ball. So now everybody, like you said, the veterans coming back, they understand the schemes, they understand what they're supposed to do. And I think the expectations and the performance gap is going to close extremely fast, and I think we're going to see we won't see as many big burn plays as we did to start the season last year.
I agree with you. They had an overhaul in the transfer portal. I think it was like 5 or 6 defensive backs, and then we have younger players that were on the team last year stepping in. So I think that's definitely going to be approved. Again, the D line is a little young, but got some defensive players, veterans coming back. So also I thought was interesting, it looks like Santee is going to be starting over Cree. So that was Cree. It looks like he's going to be the backup linebacker, but it was a little, are they both going to start or is one going to start? So again, this is on paper. We all know on paper in the beginning of the year, and then we start the year, there's always that one kid that balls out in the second team, and he's starter week 2.
Exactly.
So it's early, but yeah, I'm excited that they created some depth to this defense. And number next, who is going to be the starting QB?
Well, I love how
For UNLV football.
I love how Mullen always keeps it very close to his vest, and I did hear by all accounts that it's a competition out there for the starting quarterback job. He did this last year too, though. He didn't name Calandri or Orji until very close to the first game. I think he's probably going to do the exact same thing. I think the nod goes to Jackson. I think he's going to be the starting quarterback just because of what he's done and the style of offense. But I mean, Orji coming back from a 3 UCL sprain and a hamstring pretty much torn off the bone. The dude is a beast, and so you're not going to keep that athlete on the sideline. So I know they're going to run some schemes and some plays for both of them. And I mean, heck, if you think about goal-to-go situations within the 5-yard line, if you have Jet Thomas and Alex Orji in the backfield, who do you go? Who do you follow, and who's going to get the ball? So I think if those situations come up, Orji's going to get definitely some time. But I do think Jackson's going to be the guy who starts and plays the majority of the season.
Okay. Yeah, they have different skill sets, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, Jackson Arnold on paper looks like the better passer. Orji looks like the better athlete, bigger arm. He's just big. He's a big guy, and he's fast. So it's very interesting. There is reports that Orji has been playing very well in training camp and has really stepped up as a leader and is playing to win versus, not losing the job, so to speak. And there's been some rumblings that Jackson Arnold, again, he just entered into the system.
Right, exactly.
And I think AC kind of struggled in the beginning, too.
I believe.
I think there was one day he threw 3 interceptions or something like that. So I don't think it's like a shoo-in who's the starter. And I love, why name it? So Memphis has to prepare for both. They have different skill sets. And ultimately, I think it's going to kind of come down. Orji ended up just getting injured, so it didn't really matter. And AC took over, and AC played well, obviously. But, it's interesting who's going to be the starting quarterback.
Well, and you got to think that if Orji stayed, he transferred from Michigan to come to UNLV. Last year didn't turn out the way that any of us really wanted to for him because of the injury. He has to feel that he has a shot to make an impact on the team in order to stay around. I mean, even just in the NIL world, go and get some coins someplace else. But I think with him sticking around at UNLV, he does have a lot to offer, and I think he's going to contribute meaningful minutes and meaningful plays this season for the Rebels.
Yeah. I'm not sure if this is 4th or 5th year, but he's probably feeling it a little bit too, right? Yeah. This is his time.
I need to step up.
And I love it. I love competition. So we'll see who ends up being the starting quarterback. UNLV offensive line. Favorite part to talk about. Oh, bud. All right. So the offensive line coach came out, says, hey, we got 7, 8 guys that are looking good right now. I'm excited. They're saying the run game is going to be better this year. What are your thoughts on the offensive line?
I think that you're absolutely right. They got bigger at every single position, and even the backups. It's one thing, and that's I think what happens when you build a program is you have a couple guys that are studs, but the second and third people on the depth chart just you drop a good level when those guys come in. I don't think we're going to really see that this year. And last year, Jet Thomas got 7 yards per carry with the line we had. If we got bigger, more size-wise, I think that's only going to either, the very least, stay, but also increase. So I'm going to concede to you for all the specifics of the line because I know you love it. But I do, I do think with the line,
so I'm an expert at that. Offensive line.
I think the line getting bigger is going to be great for our running game.
I think so too. And it was funny because we both went to Game 0 last year, and we're texting each other. And was it Idaho State?
Yeah, I think it's yeah.
And they were Idaho State was moving UNLV, and I'm like, oh my god, this year's gonna be terrible. And the first couple games were a little rough, and then they figured it out. But I agree with you. I don't think it's gonna be that this way. They brought in some veterans, and also they're bringing back players that've been in the system. So I think running game is going to look good. I think we're going to, again, as soon as we go to that Memphis game, I'm watching the lines. Do they move them? They don't. And Memphis is it's a great opponent to test because I guess American's above Mountain West now, right? Because of the split in the conferences. Right. But if that line can move that Memphis defensive line, it's going to probably be a very good year. And if Thomas is, I love how you mentioned how 7 yards a carry. A lot of times he was getting stuck at the line doing some craziness, and then he breaks off.
Right.
So if he has 2 to 3 yards, and he's already in space, and he can do that one cut, it's going to be really interesting in the run game.
Real fun to watch.
So I'm excited. The Brown, the tackle, I believe he got injured. They're moving the Holy Cross guard around. I think it's Metzenberger. I apologize if I'm getting that name wrong. He's a versatile lineman. They're kind of moving him around. Will Thomas, they've been moving around. So we'll see how this line shakes out. Because Will Thomas has been the offensive left tackle. They're trying him out in right tackle. So they got 7-8 guys who are going to play. I think the only thing that's kind of set in stone is Austin Boyd, center.
Center, right.
He's clearly our best. He's first team Mountain West, potentially an All-American center. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see a big jump in the offensive line play this year. So number next. Tell us about some bright spots we've been hearing in training camp. What are your bright spots?
Well, I mean, I think obviously Jets, he gets a lot of publicity, and he should. I mean, rightly so. But then we talked about Tayshawn Lyons. Not necessarily, we're kind of questioning his first team All Mountain West.
Yeah.
But he's been looking good. And then, Caden McGee, who was a stud on special teams last year, is getting good. But I'm really looking forward to seeing Jalen Glover, who Jet gets a lot of the pub, but I think our deep backfield with him running back, and then Kyan Burnett, the tight end, the big tight end from Arizona. I'm excited to see him and what that big target can mean coming across the middle on a couple of these formations.
Oh, he was takes. He took 2 of mine.
Oh.
I agree. Yeah, what I've been hearing is Lions is he's showing out. He looks like he's a potential one receiver for this offense. McGee has been getting a lot of. So it was funny because you and I were talking about them bringing these receivers. I'm like, I kind of like our young guys. They're fast. They looked good last year.
Right.
So and then the interesting surprise is Zachary. He's I believe 5'7", 170, 180 pounds. He's a slot receiver. Guess that guy's been balling out. True freshman. Looks like he's been playing college football forever. So I think the receivers, which it kind of looks like that might be a weakness of this offense, these younger players in training camp so far have been looking really good. So I'm excited about that. And Glover's a good take too, because you don't want to be playing Jet all the time.
Right.
I think we're going to run up some of these teams, so let's keep him healthy. All right. So what do you think UNLV football strengths and weaknesses are going to be?
So the strength, I think, is experience and belief. And it's one of those things where we haven't had a ton of that because of the roster turnover over the last few years. But year one, you're kind of learning some words. And year two, you're running full-on sentences. But we talk about the culture of winning and how contagious that is. UNLV has been a habitual loser for overwhelming majority of its entire football program. So now that we kind of got some guys that have been in the program and have experienced winning, that culture really does something to a team. So I think experience and beliefs are our biggest strength. Our potential weakness, I don't want to harp on the defense. I wanted to make sure that we do that enough. We did that enough. So I was actually going to say the wide receivers are the biggest question mark and a potential weakness. I mean, we lost Troy O'Meary, Dede Reynolds, Jaden Bradley. Lost all those guys last year. These guys are a little bit more unproven, like you said. Lot of pressure on Tayshawn after he's been named first team Mountain West. And I believe even Mullen even said himself he still wants to kind of get a little bit more chemistry between the quarterbacks and the wideouts. So I hope that I'm wrong, and I hope, like the camp, everybody's balling out. But that's a potential weakness I see, that if we don't have strong wide receivers, that running game is not going to be as dominant as we wanted it to be, because now we're going to be one-dimensional. And so that's my only potential weakness that I could see without having to harp on the defense again.
I like the strength. I always like it too, because for the most part, I feel like 95, our takes are always different. You and I don't talk before.
No.
Because I like it always be organic.
Yeah.
We don't set this up to let's have different takes. But yeah, I do like what you said about culture. I've heard that the culture has gone to another level this year. So I agree with that. Weakness, I'm just going to say run defense. I know we talk about it all the time. I don't think we can change that. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see, though. Another year, we got the defensive coordinator coming back. So I think we're going to see improvements. So I don't want to harp on that too much, because I know we've talked about that plenty. But, okay, so you get one bold take for UNLV football. Make it good, though. It's got to be bold. It's got to be scary. Let me know. What is it?
So my bold take, I know we've talked about conference records and who's going to win the championship, but so my new bold take is that Jet Thomas wins Mountain West Player of the Year.
Woo! I like that. I like that. Okay.
It's not super bold, but it's
I like it.
Bold heavy.
I like it. That's bold heavy. I like it. I think that is a good bold take. I believe in that bold take. Mine's a little bit spicier.
Oh, that's what we want to hear. I'm a little bit more reserved. The button
I got to
down,
keep it spicy. So there's one individual that I've been watching interviews with. He seems like a leader. Seems like he has turned it to another level. It's Mr. Orchie. I think he is going to be the starting quarterback at the end of sometime during this season. It kind of reminds me of the Brunfield situation when he was not going to be the starter. He came into the camp, crushed it. You're watching these training camp throws, and he is just slinging it. I think that if he can just get his passing game, because I know accuracy has been an issue for him in the past, if that has improved, the sky is just, there's a lot of potential with him, and I really like his leadership, the way he speaks. It seems like it reminds me a lot of the Brunfield situation.
Okay, I like it.
And I wanted
That's
something
bold.
A little spicy for this. Let's see if it happens or not. But
That's Starbucks dark roast bold. Yeah.
you know me. Get that dark roast. Okay.
Well, and speaking of his accuracy, I don't know if you saw the video, there was one dime he just dropped. Just chucked it, and it was just it landed perfectly. The receiver was able to make the catch. So I love that. I like the boldness of that pick.
It's not an arm strength issue. It's a accuracy thing.
Right.
But yeah, he's been balling out. So we'll see. He's big. He's fast. It would be a different offense. Mullen has the capability to build the offense around his best players.
Right.
You've seen it in the past with his Dak Prescott, his Tim Tebow's. Those are very different players. He has that ability. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. We'll see how this plays out.
We'll see.
Okay, that's what I'll say. Okay, we got UNLV non-con. Let's do some predictions. All right, game 1, game 0, Memphis at home, Allegiant Stadium. Who you got?
So, like you said again before, I thought we were going to go undefeated. I don't. This game, I think if we're going to lose a game, it's going to be Memphis. So I'm going to say that we lose Memphis.
What?
Yeah. I had to pick one. I didn't want to be just a total homer, and I thought that it was either this one or Cal, and I think Cal's at least later on in the season where we'll have ironed out all our issues. But
Wow.
if anything's going to happen, we're going to stumble out of the game. It's
Okay,
going to be
this
Memphis.
should have been your
and
bold
that's it.
take. I love it. Okay, all right. I got Memphis to win.
Oh, you
all
did?
Right? So
All
I
right,
guess
well,
I'm
there
the
you
true
go.
homer today. we get Memphis. They have a lot of overhaul. We got North of Texas. Kind of same thing with North Texas too. A lot of overhaul in that program. They both played very well last year, but I say we get both those games. What do you got in the North Texas game?
Yeah, North Texas take care of business. I don't think we'll have an issue there.
Okay. I believe it's at North Texas though,
It
so
is,
you never know.
You never know.
Next one is Cal. I have this as our loss. I actually think Cal's pretty
Interesting.
good.
Yeah.
I think we have a very good chance to win this game though. It's at home, but they have a very talented quarterback. So this is the non-con game, just like you said. This is a non-con game where I would be probably the most concerned about. But I'm going to pick Cal because it's a pretty good program and they have a good quarterback. Yeah, those are my thoughts.
I think it was kind of a coin flip for me with Memphis and Cal. And again, if it was reversed, if we were playing Cal first, I would have that pick as well. Yeah.
Okay.
No take back. No, yeah, I haven't split in that game.
I'm just getting you go. Okay, Akron. I think that's a win, right?
I think that's
we got
a win.
that. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think I have UNLV going 10-2. You got UNLV going 11-1. I hope you're right.
I hope I am too.
And we got no time.
All right.
We're out. All right, brother. Thanks for being on, Ryan.
Always a
Appreciate
pleasure.
you guys.
Thank you.
We'll see you at the games. We see him in Allegiant Stadium. Buy him a beer. All right, guys. We're in Vegas. Take care of yourselves today.